when it is 0.7, 0.1, 1, 2. Okay? Another item is about support of the wall on the perimeter or bottom or top. What is, for example, the best configuration? How the wall can take more load? What is the configuration that for the wall that takes more load? One more question, for example, what is module of elasticity? Is it true or false? This number. Or masonry. Module of elasticity for masonry. F prime. And FC prime. It's the last page on the second lecture. Okay? You can have question about compression strength of wall. What it does, the compression is what characteristics of the wall influence the compression strength of the wall. The strength of mortar, does it up or down, section, stuff like that. So what are the characteristics that influence the strength of the wall? Question about Livingston design. What Livingston design requires? You know, upper moment smaller than resistant moment, or dead load smaller than factor dead load, or total dead load. One of that, slightly. Why? Why? Yeah. Okay, so like I said, module of elasticity. Kind of the joists that you use on masonry. Type of masonries, for example, what is English straight or things like that. Remember those pictures that I showed you with different types of masonry? How the brick lay to each other on top of each other, and the names that you have. For example, Flemish bone, English bone, things like this. You have to know them, distinguish them. Sometimes will be concept, how one is compared to the other. Sometimes you need just a picture and say, show me what kind of brick location or lay is this. Okay? Like minimum concentration or content of cement in different mixes. Grout, marker, everything. It's a table from I gave you. Typical slums of materials. In the wall assembly, what is the weakest point which predominates the strength of the entire wall? Just to think, the question is not exactly this, but things that you might think. Make you, when you read it, make you even think twice. Okay, what type of, remember I told you the type of murders, and I said their use. What is used for exterior, what is used for interior. That is going to be a question or two. type of mortar and where it is used. SMNNK, and where it's used. Different situations. Is it used this one or is it used that one in situation? Or in another situation, is it used this one or that one? Okay. I told you the type of the bones and what is their characteristics. English bone, Flemish bone, heather bone. What are their characteristics? What makes it one more used or more distinguished than the other one? For example, in a certain situation, which one is better to use? You're not taking notes.
Oh.
You're not taking notes.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, whatever. And for example, for a certain bone, how it is, it's how that bone is achieved, doing what? Minimum thickness of stiffeners, the rating of height with horizontal for the column, 1 to 5, 1 to 3, whatever, attendance columns. What the lintels are designed for, or what are they designed, and how the force, what kind of force is transferred on the lintels with respect to the height of the wall above them. How the bricks are felt in a compressive, and why they felt in that way, that mode. Yeah, but take notes, because you're not gonna remember everything. Are you recording me? Okay. Like I told you, again, effective lengths of buckling. Where it's used with 0.5, where it's used 0.7, where it's used 1. Okay, that's 2 or 3 questions about effective length. So. When you have a beam connected on the wall, where is it fixed and where is beam connection? You have 2 pictures on the lecture showing exactly how these connections are. Focus on that, read it once or whatever. You don't need to remember everything because it's open book. I don't want you. The important thing is that you have to find information you require quick. Okay. I may tell you that if you want to stay 30 more minutes, not 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes, I still can let you do that as long as you will be productive. Why the shear wall fails? What is the mode of the shear wall failure? Around that shear wall failure, you may have one or two questions. Mode of shear wall failure. Tension failure. Vertical bending failure can be a true or false. Tool failure, what depends, why it happens. Terms that are, for example, why we call this here this way and why we'll call this connection this way. I printed one of the like 64 pages in 11 by 70, one of the lectures. I printed by mistake. It's my office. Hopefully I'm not going to forget. I can bring it to you, but that's for one person. It's the entire lecture in 11 by 70. I printed by mistake. See, they've also charged you 12 cents for that page. I told you, when I was back home, I used to give other people favor to give me minibuses and yes, I could give my students who have parts and no problem, just take them and give them, trips to realize your professional society, huge. And I did that, not painful, but kind of, work extra mile for one, and the other one, and they gave me minibuses to give my students, take them there, lunch, things, perfect. I have to bring one to bands. I have to bring some with my students. Okay. About history, you can have some history questions. For example, what was the first use of arch? What was it called? In an arch, what components of the arch are called and how they are used? It's stone, left arch, second arch. If I give you a type of masonry, you remember I gave you two big groups in a kind of algorithms. If I give you one group, maybe the question is how many subgroups that group has, or what are the subgroups of this group? Or, for example, their configuration of bricks, or type of wall, or type of bricks, or type of use, and of the stones used on the brick. How they're called, why is distinguished from that. Things that all are that are going to be related to the lecture. Let's say, for example, springs. How they're used. What is their characteristics? One example. Or, for example, which type of wall requires more skills? Which type of wall requires more time to be built? Which type of wall is more focused? Okay. question. I want to try how much you can remember. In which bone brick, in which type of wall, bone brick is laid with the length in the direction of the wall? Just for you to know what kind of question you can have. Which type of bone brick is laid with its length on the direction of the wall? Matthew, you listening? Okay. Nick is listening? Okay, I hope you're not working with some other drawing. Okay, good. That's what I want to do. I'll introduce you to it. So, how many techniques you use to be large and how they are called? The primitive, the type 1, the first one, how is it called? The second one, what is the important part of arch? What is typical for lateral systems on Gothic masonry, Gothic buildings? What is stand out for the Gothic buildings? Remember I mentioned Milan's cathedral in Milan, Italy? Flying buttons. Yes. Go to Gothic and show them where Gothic. What do we say for San Sofia? How the lateral forces are resisted in San Sofia? The blood mask in Istanbul. That's why they're gold, because they're so elegant. And if you see those details, are amazing.
Oh, where?
Is the purpose of masonry and masonry veneer? Can masonry veneer be used as a structural element? How the widths of these dissimilar materials are connected together? Online.
Like on the laptop, because like I'm gonna have to print 70 pages.
I'll print them, don't worry.
Do you have your paper?
Yeah, all of you can have a paper, you need just a pencil.
No, I meant like the open book, so you can bring notes.
And notes are yours.
I know,
The
that's what I'm
exams,
saying.
all the questions, I'll bring them.
I know, there's 5 maybe.
Okay, I'll give you $15, you buy 2 notebooks and give to 15 pages to everybody, come on now. Or I'll give you $35 back, pack of paper and give it to everybody, come on. So I said masonry veneer, CSA standard. What's the ratio for columns, of masonry columns? What's the purpose of pilasters? Why we use them? Why we need to introduce pilasters in a building? Like I said, some questions gonna be just a picture of a finished wall, and I'm gonna tell you what kind of masonry you use. That's it. Actually, you have 2 or 3 names underneath it, you have to just select one name. You don't need to tell me the name of the masonry system. questions, but most of the questions that you're gonna have, I just mentioned. I have to find 5 more questions. I have 70 so far, and I have to find 5 more.
Even number is good.
They know I have to put 75, because you have 25 points. It's gonna be easy for me when I check, to give you 1 point for 3 questions. Anyway,
It won't matter, it could be 0 to 5 for the.
it's messed up calculations, but I can do it, I can put the spreadsheet.
So
Okay.
every question is worth 0.3 marks?
Yes, 1 question. Actually, you can say, yeah, mark is 0.33, 1 question. But as a point, it's 1 point. As a mark, it's 0.33.